My name is Charles Chaka Webb. I am the founder of Stoke for Life Foundation and Real Stoke Adaptive Sports Fishing Program. It is a program under Stoke for Life's ocean therapy programs. We mainly are geared towards adaptive surfing and adaptive paddling, adaptive surf contest. But with the good fortune of some donors and some people that believe in our programs, we are able to start the new Real Stoke Adaptive Sports Fishing Program. So we're super blessed with that, and we're going to explain a little bit about what that is. Adaptive sports fishing, basically any kind of sports with adaptive in front of it, is basically a sport for people with disabilities. So for us in the adaptive fishing community, it's normally somebody in a wheelchair or somebody with some sort of disability. The adaptive sports fishing program, Real Stoke, is going to feature myself, Jerry McLean, who is another adaptive athlete and surfer, adaptive angler, who is going to be heavily involved in what we're doing here. And at this time, what we're able to do is we are able to film an adventure with myself and Jerry McLean, two guys in wheelchairs, two paraplegics, two adaptive athletes and anglers that are going to go challenge Bahia de Los Angeles. And Bahia de Los Angeles is a fishing destination internationally for a lot of people, even though it's a small village. There's a lot of people that target fish there: yellowtail, white sea bass, cabria. Basically, it's a cabria fishery, which is, we're going to target some cabria while we're down there. But the Real Stoke Adaptive Sports Fishing Program is going to be able to feature some local adaptive anglers, some people that are coming from abroad. When the U.S. Open comes, we'll be able to take a few anglers out and we'll be able to produce some content. And our intention is to kind of show the world what adaptive sports fishing is about and how each angler in adaptive sports fishing adapts. Each person is going to have a little bit of a different version of how they like to fish and what apparatuses they use to adapt and hold their poles, and or what kind of rigs they're using, what helps them the best. So we're going to cover a lot of that. We're also going to cover a lot of the volunteers and just basic anglers that give back to the adaptive sports fishing community, that like to get people out in the water, like our guys at Calcona, the Pregler brothers, who've set me up with my boat. And I fished a ton when I was young with Greg, and he got me really on my first big fish, my first dorado, my first yellowtail, my first white sea bass, put me on a lot of great fish. So we're going to feature a lot of people like that in this program as we go along and we produce content. So, but what I'm going to do now is I'm kind of going to break down the equipment that we're going to take, and of course this is mine and Jerry's both our first time fishing this particular place in Baja, even though I've fished a lot down in Cabo and I've done a lot of fishing in Mexican waters. I've never fished specifically Bahia, and I've never fished for cabria. So even though I've had to do a lot of research and try to find out what's going to work best for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through our tackle box and our gear and kind of show you what I'm taking, and maybe we can produce a video of what Jerry's taking as well. But I will show you guys kind of what's in my tackle box for this trip. And we are also doing a trip to the East Cape in July. So we've got two really awesome opportunities for adaptive anglers to go to elite places and fish and show the world what Real Stoke Adaptive Sports Fishing is about, what our program's about, and kind of the capabilities of adaptive athletes in general. So without any further ado, we will go through my tackle box. So we're going to talk a little bit about surface irons, yo-yos. We're going to talk about some stick baits. We're going to talk about some things that I'm going to be taking down to Bahia de Los Angeles, and what I normally would kind of fish with around here as I target certain types of fish. So right now I'm going to show you the Cavo topwater surface iron. We'll be taking a few of these. We got a really good deal on those at one of the shows, so we're going to be trying a couple of those. We have a few different colors. We have the mint and white, we have the yellowtail, but my favorite lures, my favorite top water surface irons are really kind of offbeat stuff. You know, some people use them, some people don't. The Tatty 45 is very popular. It's a really good topwater lure. I've had a lot of luck with it. These lures are basically brand new. I'm kind of restocking my box for trips that we got coming up. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see is going to look new now, but not look new when we get back from Bahia. So topwater irons that I really like and that I've had experience with are the Tatty 45. Love the Tatty 45 in different colors. Blue and white is generally a really good color. Offbeat kind of stuff that I like to use is typical stuff like this, the Salas 7X Junior. A lot of people use the 7X. I also use the 7X. I believe I'm going to pull a mint one out right now. This is the 7X top water surface iron. It's in the mint color. I love the 7X. It works great. It's kind of, you can yo-yo with it too. It's got a little bit more weight to it, but you can also crank it real fast on the top. Also, speaking of yo-yoing, what I love offbeat yo-yo is the Salas 6X Junior. Nice, heavy, small. A lot of fish like to eat it. So I got it in a couple different colors, the mint and white and the blue and white. Blue and white is a go-to for yellowtail, and I'm not sure how it's going to work for the Cabria, but for the yellowtail, that is going to be a really hot color is the blue and white and the mint. Everybody loves the mint. The mint is in fashion right now. So talking about that, we're going to be going from the yo-yo irons to the topwater stuff. We're going to be talking about some slow pitch stuff and some vertical irons. So if you're yo-yoing, obviously you're gonna be doing some flat fall stuff or some slow pitch stuff. I've kind of taken to the slow pitch stuff. So the things that I have been using are these little Shimano's, these 120s. Had some really good luck with this. Also the Submission Slow Death in the white. Caught a few really nice fish on this. This is what I caught my amberjack in Panama on. It's a really good jig. It's got some good use. Probably need to replace the hooks even though they're really sharp still. We also have the Slow Death in the 2, so that is a 130, and that's kind of my favorite size, is like between 110 and 130. I like the 80s and the 60s too, but this is a 230, and the Slow Death, really nice jig. So if we're doing some yo-yo stuff, the flat fall stuff, the slow pitch stuff would work too. So we love the stick baits. We love this little Shimano 80 gram, which is a really nice one. The micro jigs work really good, supposedly down in Bahia, but I've had a lot of good luck with, this is the 80 gram Shimano. I've had a lot of good luck with some of the submission jigs. This is some more of the submission jigs. This is one of their Mayhems, I think, or one of their micro jigs. We have a lot of micros that we've had a ton of great luck on with different fish in the bay and calico bass and sand bass and things like that. So that flat fall stuff is, you know, and that slow pitch stuff is going to work really good down there. So we've got a ton of that. One thing that we did not go over was the Colt Snipers. And the Colt Snipers are one of my favorite baits. They're my favorite casting baits. Really great for different types of fish. You can catch halibut on these. You can catch yellowtail on them. You can catch tuna on them. You can fish them vertically. You can fish them on the top. So Colt Snipers are also amazing. So for the Cabria, what, you know, through my research, I've never fished Cabria before. It's much like calico bass fishing. So obviously I had to do a lot of research, but the hot ticket for the Cabria seems to be the Azuri Hydro Minnows in the 170 size. What I've heard is the 170 size really has a lot more action. So we've got the Wacky Macky, I think this is called. We've got quite a few of these. We've got the Wonder Candy. White is always a hot bait color. Not really sure why. Halibut love it. Bass love white. Yellowtail love the white iron, and it seems that the Cabria might be loving the white Wonder Candy. So this is basically for something that's on the top, from in the column of about probably 1 to 4 feet. So I have fished stick baits like this in the past. I've never fished this particular stick bait, but also the current sniper in the 170 size. It's a little bit heavier. And it dives a little bit deeper. So this is going to get you down to about 3 to maybe 5 or 6 feet. And so that's going to give you a little bit deeper water column. It's a little bit heavier. I love that they have the magnets inside, and they have little noisemakers inside that cause vibration and that are going to trigger fish to bite. So that's basically, we're just taking these straight for Cabria. We have these in quite a few different colors, the Wacky Macky, the mackerel color right there, the sardine I think this was, or this was the mackerel in the current sniper stick bait. So those are going to be really vital to catching the Cabria and the good kind of fish that we want to catch, the exotics that we don't normally catch around here. So those are going to be super key to dialing in on the Cabria. So in worst case scenario, maybe best case scenario, I don't know. A lot of people haven't talked about fishing plastic in Bahia, even though I've seen it a little bit. I do fish a lot of artificials, and these are just a few of the baits that we might end up trying out. 4-inch, 5-inch, some of the stuff with the blades on them, the weedless. I don't know if there's a lot of weeds down there, but I have a lot of weedless setups here because I fish a lot of the kelp with those. So yeah, the war baits heads, we're going to be taking a few of those down there. So trying out some of the neck breakers, and we have these neck breakers right here. We got those little rigs, and I like these weedless ones for up here where we fish in San Diego. I like these weedless with the blade at the bottom. It gets bit a lot of good bites on artificials, and the war baits seem to have kind of their jig heads dialed in with their neck breaker and that underblade. So kind of stoked on that, but I don't see a lot of people fishing plastic in Bahia. I see them fishing a lot of stick baits, a lot of flat fall stuff, or a lot of slow pitch stuff. So that's kind of the gear. I know that for weights and hooks, that's kind of the artificial stuff. For weights and hooks, they said basically I'm gonna treat it like kind of Cabo. As far as the kind of baits that we're going to be fishing with, they're going to be obviously big mackerel or small size mackerel, caballito. There's other kinds of baits that kind of are up there in that spot. But I'm just going to treat it the same. I'm going to bring big 5-0s. I'm going to bring 4-0s. These Gorilla hooks from Owner are really good. We really kind of like those. So yeah, we're going to bring those 5-0s, 4-0s, 5-0s, 6-0s, 7-0s, and 8-0s. Those are the size. We have some bigger sinkers. We're going to use some 16-ounce torpedoes. If we choose to go for the bigger grouper and we're fishing, past 200 feet, which I don't really want to do there. I kind of want to stick to the topwater stuff. I want to stick to the Cabria. I really want to target some white sea bass if they're biting. If they're not, yellowtail, Cabria, and maybe some other stuff within 100 feet or less. That's kind of what I'm targeting, and that's my goal. So that's why I'm bringing the types of baits that I'm bringing. That's the kind of fishing that I kind of been studying down there. Even though I've done a lot of fishing in Cabo, it's a little bit different up in Bahia. You don't get, even though you do get the barred pargo and you get a lot of the same fish on the bottom, that we're going to target some of that. So, well, not specifically target, it'll be bycatch, because once you hit the bottom, you really don't know what you're going to get down there. Even though you're hoping for something, you might get something completely different. So, and that's good, because it's going to widen the scope of things that are on your list that, hey, I've caught this, I've tasted that. For the reels and the poles, yeah, I am taking my Lexa 400 with 40-pound braid and 40-pound top shot mono. Probably, I think 100 yards is on here. And I'll explain a little bit why I fish like this, and it's just because I like it. I'm also bringing a Fathom 400, a Penn Fathom 400. Now, as you guys will get to know me and some of the content that we'll come out with, you'll know that I'm a kind of a Daiwa guy right now. I'm just feeling their line. I love the Lexa. I love the Saltiga line. The Saltiste line is really nice. There's not a lot of stuff, saltwater, that they make right now that I am not a fan of, but I do love Penn stuff. I love Shimano stuff as well, but right now mainly my gear is made up of a lot of Daiwa stuff. So right now you're going to kind of see that. But for the Cabria and for casting, I am taking, these are both backed with 40-pound braid and 40-pound mono top shot, about 100 yards. The reason why I just have always been a mono guy, there's a lot of people that'll say that fluorocarbon is less stretchy and doesn't, has more abrasion resistance. I've seen a lot of tests done between mono and fluorocarbon, and there's not a lot of difference to me. I've caught a lot of great fish on mono, and so I'm just going to kind of stick with it, and that's what I'm going to go with. I'm doing the 100-yard top shot because I'm not a big straight braid fisherman, so I've never really done that. So if I need to tie a top shot on of 80 or 60 or something like that, we have plenty of it. We're bringing it. But these two, I am going to pair the Fathom with this Californian 7.6 12 to 30 pound. It's a great stiff rod, fast action. I know it's a little light on the rod as far as the pound test, but I'm only going to be running 40 out of it, so I'm not really thinking that that's going to be a big deal. I am going to be running the Lexa with the 7.7 Phoenix M1 Inshore Series, the 15 to 35. I love this rod. This is a great rod. I love the Black Diamond series too, but my Black Diamond is only a 25-pound class rod, so I'm not going to bring that. It's a little bit too light. But I'm going to pair these two bait casters up with these two really nice Phoenix rods. Well, it's a Californian, but I think it's part of the Phoenix spin-off line. So that is going to be what I'm going to fish for the Cabria and for the lighter stuff. Also, what I have for casting is I have this Saltiste 20H with 50-pound braid on it. This is awesome for casting. It's also awesome for vertical jigging, any of the flat fall stuff or the slow pitch stuff. This is really awesome. I put this little rig on a slow pitch rod and had a lot of great success with it on a bunch of rockfish. I did it in Panama, caught some grouper, also caught that really nice amberjack on this with that slow death jig we showed before, that 130. But yeah, this is a great casting for top surface irons, any kind of, it's also great for live bait, so I love this little rig. But I got 50 braid with top shot of 50 on that. And I also have another 50-pound rig. This is the Saltiga 30HA. I love this rig. This is my yellowtail. This is what I really ride and die with, is this rig right here. But I have 50-pound braid with some 50-pound top shot. Again, it's mono. It's what I like to fish. It's You fish what you like, I fish what I like, and this is kind of what I roll with. I don't really ever want to see my knot if I'm casting, so that's why I get about 100 yards. I'm never going to cast 300 feet, so I usually get about 100, usually 80 to 100 yards of top shot of mono. That's just the way I like to fish. Don't ask me why, but that's just the way that I've always rolled. This Saltiga 30 HA is my reel. This is I can cast with it, I can live bait with it, I can jig with it, I can do pretty much everything with it. I love this rig. I am going to pair these two up with some of my old custom rods. This is a custom rod that was wrapped for me by Steve Retschke, also known as Captain Peabod, rest his soul. He passed away many years ago, but this is a custom 6.5 foot rod. This is a CalStar 270 C6. This is a great rod. I've caught a ton of fish on this. I'm going to pair that with the Saltiga 20 and the Saltise 20, and this is my ride or die, man. This is the Reaper Junior. This is also a 270 CalStar 270 C6. This is just a little over 6.5. It's for about 20 to 40 pound test. I'm gonna run some 50 on it. I have caught tons and tons and tons of great fish on this rod. It's still originally wrapped. On my very first trip to Cabo San Lucas in the mid-90s, Peabod wrapped me, I think 4 poles, and I have 3 of them right now. The 4th one is in the shop. Getting one of the eyes fixed. I had to have one of the eyes rewrapped, much to my chagrin. I always like to keep all my Peabod rods original Peabod wrap. That rod that's in there is a CalStar 677 foot for 20 to 50 pound, I think is the range on that. It's a beautiful, real thick backbone rod, but this is my 270 C6 6.5 footer. It's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit flimsier, it's kind of mid to heavy action. I've caught probably 1,000 yellowtail on this. I've caught some big I've caught Dorado on it. I've caught there's just, you name it, I've caught halibut on this thing. This is paired with this Saltiga 30, and it is the dream setup for me. I can fish anything from tuna to yellowtail on it, depending on what kind of line I put on the 30. I can put up 60 pound on it, no problem. It will hold a ton of 60 pound braid, 65 pound braid. So I'm bringing 240s for casting, 250s for casting also if I need to. Okay, for that big stuff, for the big grinders, I have this lever drag Saltiga 40 2-speed. This thing, have the 65 pound braid and some 60 pound mono on it. That's going to be for some of the heavier stuff. If we get into some of that really heavy grouper fishing on the bottom, I am going to pair that up with this beautiful Peabod 6 foot 270 C6 6 footer range for really anything. It's a big rail tuna rod. It's 6 footer. I've waxed a few decent fish on it, some albacore back in the day with RIP Todd Chandler, but Peabod wrapped me those 4 sticks with the 7 footer that's in the shop getting the eye repaired. So I'm going to pair this 40 with the 60 pound 65 pound braid with the 60 pound top shot Peabod rig. I will probably pair this with that because it's got a little more leverage being 7 foot. And I am going to pair this 6 footer up with the even heavier stuff. I got the Shimano TLD20A 2-speed. We have that with the 80 pound and 100 pound braid with 80 pound top shot. So if we really do want to get into some of those bigger grouper, I will pair this with this little 6 footer. Which is a big giant, not a big giant, but it's a nice rail rod, tuna rail rod, very stiff, super fast action. Hopefully I'll be able to get those big grouper out of the rocks, but this is what I'm going to pair with that. I'm going to pair the 60 pound up with the 6.5 footer, or excuse me, the 7 footer that's in the shop. So that's kind of what we're rocking with. We're rocking with 240s, 250s, a 60, and an 80. Of course, we're bringing leaders that are, 100 pound, 120 pound leaders. We're bringing, I think, leaders from 60 to 120 pounds. So 60, 80, 100, 120. That if we do choose to get into some of that grouper or some of this stuff is too light, we do have some backup stuff. So this is kind of what I'm bringing. I showed you guys kind of the lures that I was bringing, the artificials that we're bringing, kind of the hook sizes and the weight sizes that we're bringing. And now here's the rod and reel setups that we're bringing. I'm bringing the Lexa 400 and a Penn Fathom 400. I'm bringing a Saltiga 20, a Saltiste 20, a Saltiga 30, a Saltiga 40, and a Shimano TLD 20 2-speed. So 6 rigs all together. I think I've got all my bases covered. We're bringing some extra line. We're bringing some leaders. We're bringing a bunch of stuff like that. But we're going to be covering kind of the content of us going down there, what it looks like, and we'll be producing some videos of all of that. So stay tuned. We're going to have some really awesome adaptive sports fishing adventures for you here on the Stoke for Life YouTube channel, and hopefully you guys will tune in and we'll have a bunch more content and we'll catch a bunch of great fish. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you in the water.